Hey, I'm Tanner. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to relocate the doorbell camera out onto the brick to get a better view. Right now it's showing a lot of brick. We want to get that moved out so you can get more function out of your doorbell camera. So here we go. So the first step is we got to make sure that we kill power. So we're going to go in and find the chime box. To best do that, you just push the doorbell, find out where it chimes on the inside of the house, and then we'll go disconnect the power from there and we'll come back and move it. So we found the chime box. It's in the hallway. Sometimes you need a step stool. I like my handy dandy bucket, so I'm just going to use that to step on it just so I can get up higher. A lot of times you want to get like a little screwdriver just to trace around it. Sometimes there's paint, and the last thing you want to do is pop this off and peel a bunch of paint with it. Pop that off. We're just going to disconnect these two wires and kill power to that front doorbell. Don't worry about getting shocked. You're not going to get shocked doing this. By doing that, make sure they're separated, and by doing that you'll kill power to the doorbell so then we can operate on it and not worry about blowing a transformer or anything. Okay, now that we got the power killed, we're going to take this doorbell off. What we're going to do is take these screws out. Okay, make sure you don't lose these little guys. So I'm just disconnecting these wires from the doorbell. Since we killed power, it's okay if they touch. Last thing is we're going to take this off. Pros and cons with relocating the doorbell like this: you're going to get a way better view, but the con is you might see a little bit of wire off to this side here. We'll come back and we'll touch that up near the end. Okay, so I've got my drill out now so we can drill through the brick. I like the DeWalt's. They've got two functions, drill and hammer. Since we're going on brick, we're going to switch that over to the hammer mode. You got to make sure it's a masonry bit or else you're going to burn through your drill bits and it's going to be really hard. The thing that makes masonry bits different is they have this like flat paddle at the end. So you just want to map it out. The thing that I always like to do is go in the mortar, not the brick itself. Instead of going through the brick, if you go through the brick, it's going to take you a long time. You'll probably go through a couple batteries. So we're going to make our job easy. We're going to go through the mortar, and we're going to angle it so that it pops out, hopefully right here at the edge. If it comes out a little bit over here, that's fine. You definitely don't want to go into the wood, but you want to try and aim for that corner there. So we're just going to get started. I like to start straight just to get my bit something to bite on, and then I'm going to angle it off to this side. Another thing I like to do is go right here, so then when I go to put anchors, it's a lot easier to put the anchors up here and there than on brick and brick. Okay, I'm going to turn it on hammer mode. It's going to be kind of loud, so just keep that in mind. And just push. Look at that. Perfect. So next step is find a piece of wire similar size to what you've already got. It's 18.2. But as long as it's similar size, similar gauge, you'll be fine. So what I'm going to do is just fish this through just like that, and then we're gonna bean clip these off, and then we'll cover it up, and then we'll be ready to mount the doorbell. So what I'm going to be using today are these bean clips, or dolphin clips, whatever you call them. We're going to strip this back about an inch or two and pull off just the case. I always cut this little wire, or not wire, this little string. And then I'm just going to strip the copper back to expose it. I like to strip it about half an inch to an inch. And then what I'm going to do is, see how I was like pulling this Sometimes it helps if you pull it back. I'm just gonna go red and red. It doesn't matter, you can do whatever colors you want, but just to keep it simple, we're just gonna go red and red. I'm gonna twist that on, and then I'm gonna twist this other one, the green with the black, and then I like to just cut it. And then slide these little bean clips on. Make sure all the copper is covered up. And then I'm just going to pinch it down. This is going to help protect the wire and the connection. So these little bean clips are nice to have. Again, you just want to make sure all the copper's covered, and then just pinch it down so it doesn't come off. Now if you're nervous about it, you can always use a little bit of electrical tape just to help keep it kind of clean and together. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll reuse the old doorbell, the old like normal push doorbell, just to cover this up. Since we don't have that, I've got this little piece of plastic that we're gonna put over just to kind of clean it up a little bit, kind of make it look a little bit more professional. Okay, so I got this plate put on. Now we're just gonna move the doorbell over and get a way better view of the porch. You're not gonna see the brick anymore. It's gonna be a way better view. So we're actually upgrading the customer doorbells. So I'm gonna do the anchors. To do that, I wanna just make sure that the wire's in the middle. And then I'm gonna make a mark where I wanna put my anchors. So just like that. And then this plate's nice, it's got a big slot, so just anywhere in there, I'm gonna make a little mark so I know where to set my anchors. So again, I'm using a masonry bit. This one's a little bit shorter, just gives you a little bit more control. I could use the other one, but since it's long, it just is kind of flimsy. This one's gonna be a lot more sturdy. I got my drill and hammer mode. If you have that, awesome. If not, it's not a big deal. Getting a good grip on the drill, good stance, and let it rip. So I like to just blow on it, make sure it's all cleared out, and then you just stick your anchor in and tap it in. Sometimes when you drill it, it does kind of break away. If you need to, just use a little bit of electrical tape and tape around it so the anchor gets in there nice and snug. Both of these worked out pretty nice. So we just want to make sure the anchor's in there good and it's not kind of wiggling around. Okay, so we don't need this much slack. You do want to give yourself some wiggle room, but that's a little much. So I'm just going to cut it, I don't know, about 4 inches. And then just like what I did over there, I'm going to cut the casing about 1.5 inches. That's where I like to go. Depending on the doorbell camera, you may want to do a little bit more, a little bit less. And then just open that up, expose a little copper, about 1/2 inch. And then putting the back plate on. Now with this doorbell, you stick it through the back plates just like that. And then we're gonna screw it down onto the back plate. Little tricks that I like to do is, so you loosen them up, loosen the screws up. Again, depending on the doorbell that you're doing, it might be a little different, but I like to go clockwise. So with my left thumb, I'll push it right there, and then I just use the screwdriver to just bend it around and just make sure it's getting around there nice and tight, and that it's getting a good connection. Might need to loosen that a little bit more. So just wrap it around just like that. So when you cinch it down, The reason why I like to go clockwise is so when you tighten it, the screw will tighten around the copper and make it tighter. So, so I just got it round. Use the screwdriver to kind of pinch it around and then just tighten it down, just like that, nice and tight. Now that we've got that done, we're gonna anchor this down. Big part of this is you want to make sure none of the wires are pinched, or it might create a short and your doorbell's not going to power on. So when you're tucking this back, just make sure, again, you got some slack because it's nice to have if you ever have to adjust it, but not too much slack to where you risk your wires pinching. And then I'm just going to line this up and screw it in. It's pretty easy. Just like that. Okay, just filling this hole with silicone just to help protect the wire, make it look cleaner. Just went back inside, reconnected the power at the chime box. So final step, make sure we did it right. We're just gonna put the doorbell on. If it powers up, you know we're good to go. There you have it.